Good morning. How's everybody today? Yesterday I said if we accept over 7270, things are going to change and we're going to get into distribution. And here we are. New all-time high in the overnight. You can see the overnight inventory is once again long. Now, for people who don't know what inventory is, you really should come check out our trading room. I've got videos on it. Inventory, cost basis, those are the fundamental building blocks of a market. Because how can you trade something, right, if you don't know where it should be priced, right, or you don't know where it's priced? It's going to be very hard for you to make intelligent decisions. We were just talking about this in the room. You know, people saying that have to sit and wait for a trade. Some people feel like they missed the big move. All of this feeling stuff. The reason why you're so, and this is going to be very unpopular, the reason why you have all these feelings is because you guys don't have a basic understanding of how business works, right? So you're reliant on your feelings, and your feelings 99% of the time are not attached to any kind of a business plan. And your execution, when it relies on feelings, oh my God, it's going to be so hard, right? Because you're basically out there feeling around in the dark and you have no idea of why you're taking these trades. You see the move and you're like, oh, I could have bought that, or I could have sold that, or I should have had that. That's all. It's your mind's going to play tricks on you when you don't understand the business, right? You're going to be running around like a chicken with its head cut off, taking trades, losing money, right? This is really important, and a lot of trading rooms don't talk about this. They make excuses for things like FOMO and tilt and revenge trading. All of that stuff could be avoided if you have knowledge, right? But it has to be practical knowledge. Now let's go take a look at the overnight. It's long, right? Which means that all of the trading is above yesterday's close. Now, what does that mean? You see the blue stuff here? That's the cost basis of yesterday's distribution, right? So you guys know what a distribution is when you sell a large quantity of goods. In this case, the goods are ES contracts, okay? The inventory, 70% of it is here. 70% of the overnight inventory is here. The difference between here and here is profit. You guys get that? Hey, Raj. I'm kind of doing a little bit of a, because it's slow, I'm going to do a little bit of a sort of a markets 101, right? I hope that's okay with you guys. Because through this, what we're going to do is we're going to work through this and try and educate you on why you should take a trade. Okay? There's got to be a business reason to take a trade. Not just, I feel it's going to go up. I feel it's going to go down. It looks weak. It looks strong. You guys have no idea how it looks. I've been doing this for 34 years. I don't trade off feel. I can't. I tried, it doesn't work, right? And I'm intimate with, you see my levels work to the tick. My levels on equities work to the penny sometimes, right? Do I trade off a feel? Good God, no, right? The only time I trade off a feel is when it's my deal and my clients and I own all the stock. Then I know what's going on, but even then I need information. I need feedback that the chart is giving me, okay? So here we go. We're coming down to test that previous day high. So this is yesterday's distribution. This is today's distribution. If distribution keeps going like this, right, it's a very hard market to short unless you're doing hit and run shorts, okay? Let's see if we go, let's get you dug into this now. That's a very basic concept, accumulation distribution. Actually, this was a distribution of this. You see? See this? Market profile, people say value is higher, but that's meaningless. It means nothing to you, right? If I said to you value is trend higher, you're going to go, "Oh, that's great. Now what do I do?" Right? But if I said, "Look, the stuff we bought here, we sold here and we sold it." This means people are coming for it, right? They're coming in to buy it, right? Does that make sense? If I say value is higher, who cares, right? But if I say the product sales are going well, and every day and every session we can sell this crap for more because more and more suckers are coming in to buy it, then that makes sense, right? You can visualize it. If I say value is moving higher, who cares? You can't visualize that. And if you can't visualize it, how the hell are you supposed to make any money trading it, right? So, that's a little bit of a lesson here. Go take a look at this. This is why I draw these balance zones. This is a cost basis. This is the accumulation of inventory, right? This is where you stock the shelves. And then you open the door, customers come in, you raise price. When they stop buying, you put it on sale. What does the sale do? It brings in buyers, you raise price. Look, beautiful, right? This is textbook business, right? This is a sales chart. It's nothing more, right? So try and keep those concepts and try and keep that visualization in your head. Now let's go take a look and see what's shaking tonight or this morning. Let's see. There's that point of control. Another thing. What is a point of control? It's where 70% of your inventory is priced. So it's exactly what I was saying. They've been buying the crap out of it at 8. They put it on sale down to 4. And what happened? They put it on sale. What happens? It brings in buyers, right? That's what our trades are based on. Our trades are based on when you put it on sale and it brings in buyers, you buy a little and then sell it higher. You buy a little and sell it higher. Now this was a 1 minute candle, so that was tough to trade. That breakout and that breakout were a little hard, right? But the levels are working, right? I did my cost basis this morning. Where is it here? 7,300 to 7,305 half. I use this area here. They double it to 7,315. You can see it's been very choppy, right? Very choppy. A move, and then chop, chop. So you really hard to trade. Chop. And this is what frustrates a lot of people, right? Don't get frustrated. Try and take your frustration and put it into curiosity. If you can do that, it'll help. Now, inventory is long. And what I was looking for here, you see how, if you looked at this, these are basically the chart on your right-hand side is a candle chart. It's a half-hour candle. Every candle is given a name, A, B, C, D, etc., right? So if you see the lows of these half-hour candles, they all kind of lined up here at 6. So when we broke 6, I was looking to see how much of this would fall out. Not much. Why is that? Because we came underneath the previous day high and then quickly back up. Why? Because the people who are short the market are sitting here waiting to buy. And when they got an opportunity, they came rushing in. So let's see, in 4 minutes, London's going to open. Let's see what kind of, excuse me, let's see what kind of buying or selling comes in when we open up the London market. Okay, everybody with me? So the trades that you're looking for as a beginning trader, as a new trader, you don't want to be shorting. Now, why? Shorting a market at all-time highs is very difficult, okay? Especially position shorting, right? 2 days ago, we had a great short from 72, 70 all the way down. You know, we had a 70-point trade. But that doesn't happen every day. So you have to trade what the market gives you, right? Say you're selling bananas and you go to the market and that day only 3 people buy bananas. Then you're going to be left with inventory unless you put it on sale, right? This is just common sense, right? It's very common sense trading. You can see there's sellers here at 11. VWAP is at, where's VWAP? 8. And we're in distribution, right? Distribution is a bit tough. Higher lows on the dailies, right? What does that mean? If you got higher lows, it means the buyers are following the sellers higher. Why are the sellers raising price? Because they can. Very simple, right? This is not rocket science, right? So what you got to do as a retail trader, because number one, you're not trading with hundreds of millions of dollars. Number two, you can't afford to be wrong and offside all the time. So you have to wait for an opportunity that is clear. You have to wait for a clear business opportunity where you can manage your risk, and that is what we call an A+ setup, right? Everybody talks about trade setups and blah, 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 right? But basically, exactly, Moran, it's a clear business opportunity where you can manage your risk. And managing your risk is one of the most important things in this business, right? And that's why a lot of you guys are going around and you're just trading and trading and trading. And there was a good conversation earlier in the room. You know, some people were saying, I can't sit still, I can't sit still. Well, in retail trading, if you don't sit still, you're going to lose a lot of money because you're just going to be randomly out there, you know, wasting all your bullets, wasting all your capital. So you have to train yourself to sit still. You have to train yourself to concentrate. You have to train yourself to pay attention to small details, right? And that's the part where it's not easy. And then you have to train yourself how to adapt when the market changes, which is the biggest problem in this business because adapting when the market changes is impossible for people who don't understand how our market works. Now here comes London. Let's see. Is it more of the same? The other thing is, if you're set up right, if there is not a clear business opportunity with a valid business reason for taking a trade, don't trade. And this is a problem because a lot of people, not everybody has 20 hours a day to sit in front of the screen. So they go, well, JJ, I only have 2 hours before work, or I only have this amount of time. The market doesn't care about that, right? I'm empathetic, but the market is not. Just because you have 2 hours to trade does not mean that your setup or an opportunity will exist in those 2 hours. That's why when you force trades, they rarely never work, right? Make sense? I want you guys to be able to visualize and make sense of things, right? Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in this pattern of losing money, losing money, losing money, right? And this is why a lot of people are like, I want to quit my job and trade full time. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Because if you have another source of income, you're not going to be desperate. And desperation trades are the worst. Been there myself, I've done it, right? It's not like I'm saying, I've never done these things. I've made every mistake you guys have done, and worse, right? When you're desperate, I mean, you notice when you're desperate, nothing seems to go your way. Happens all the time, right? Same trading is perfect for that. I mean, look at this right now. It's choppy. Would you trade this? No. Why? Because there's no direction, there's no follow through. It's chop. You can see it's been going on now for a good couple of hours. Look. Other than this little move up and this little move down, it's been like this for hours. So who's making money now? Well, the wholesalers are selling the 10s, and they stop selling down here at 7. So how does this work? What they do is they have their algos, and they're a buyer under 8 3/4, and when it gets over 8 3/4, they're a seller. And they flip to the offer. They are both sides of this box, unless large orders come in and move the market. Do you guys understand that? If you understand chop, it'll help you from getting chopped up, right? So say I'm a trader, I'm a market maker, I'm a wholesaler. When it gets under 8 3/4, I'm on the bid, and I'll buy it down to 7, 6 3/4, 7, okay? And I'll buy a couple of hundred contracts. Now, as soon as it gets over 8 3/4, I'm on the offer, and I'm selling, 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 selling. By the time it gets to 10, I'm flat, right? So they're working both sides of that box. In the old days in market making, we used to call this running a box. Now, if more buyers come in, if enough people are short in that box, we'll take out the 11s and we'll go up to this 12.5 area, right? Because if enough people are short under 8 and they add to it at 9 and they go to cover at 10, The people who are still long will raise price. But if there's competition at 11, they'll lower price like they're doing right now. This is market making 101. This is the most common, simple way to look at it. For us, at this time, not a lot of opportunity. It's 3 in the morning in New York. Sometimes Globex is great, sometimes it's crappy, right? So it's very, very important that you understand the nature of what is going on. And if you do, it'll keep you from losing money unnecessarily. You might not make money right now, but wouldn't it be nice to have money to trade with when a clear business opportunity presents itself? Make sense? Cool. So everything about feeling antsy, just take that and kind of put it on the shelf for a bit. And think like a business person, right? So when you're running a business, you're not fueled by your emotions, right? You can't be. You ever go into a boardroom and you see people screaming and yelling at each other? Well, I haven't seen that in a few decades, right? But generally people are calm, right? Generally people are calm and they're waiting for opportunity. Right? You have to relax when you're a retail trader. You have to relax. And if you come in and look at a chart like this, immediately you should say, "Oh crap, there's no follow through. It's crappy. Maybe I'll go to the gym now. If it's late at night for you guys, in the States, go to sleep. But don't stress yourself out. Because once you start putting yourself into that state of desperation, you're going to make bad business decisions." Does that make sense? A desperate trader is a completely lost trader. They're dead. They're dead. Just like a desperate salesman is a dead salesman, right? Tom Wolfe taught us that in Bonfire of the Vanities, right? A desperate salesman is a dead salesman. So use your common sense. Look at the chart, right? And you don't need an indicator or a footprint or a DOM or anything. That 1 minute candle chart, like I've shown you, is telling you that business is slow. Why is business slow? Let's go through the reasons why business is slow. Business is slow because we're at all-time highs and nobody wants to buy size up here. Nobody in their right mind is going to go and buy 10,000 contracts at 73.08. Because when markets are at all-time highs, smart money, the people who understand what's going on, sit back and watch, right? So right now is a time for wholesalers to do business and get rid of the product that they have from yesterday at higher price in the overnight session. That's all it is. There's no rocket science here. If you were long last night underneath 72.95 and you had 500 contracts, you could sell them up here and you'd be done. It'd be a nice night, right? Now, you'll get those big green candles. If enough people are short in this box, you'll start taking out this high and then this high up here. Yeah, smart money is just maintaining positions. They're positioned at much lower prices, right? So see how their sellers they're constant, right? So even if you had gone long at 8, you know there's a seller at 11, so get out, right? Don't be stubborn. Being stubborn in this business is a surefire way to bankruptcy, right? Being stubborn is a quick way to go bankrupt, right? Lose all your money. Don't be stubborn. As soon as you're wrong, admit you're wrong and get out of it, right? If you are trading this and you're getting chopped up, then you're being stubborn. And you're caught in an emotional loop because you don't understand the business. And this is where me and trading psychologists, a very, very good trading psychologist we had, I called her up and I said, listen, I got an idea. How about we teach people trading psychology before they lose their money? And she said, no, I don't think that's possible. So people have to come to ruin before they learn. Now, if you had to come to financial ruin before you learn, I want you to think about this seriously. How would Wall Street work? I open a brokerage firm and bankrupt it. And now I've learned something. Do you think anybody's going to trust me with money again? Oh, I open a hedge fund and I lose everybody's money. What moron would give me money again immediately if I don't have a track record, right? It makes no sense. So use trading psychology before you blow up your account. How do you do that? By understanding now is not a good time to trade. You've just saved yourself a huge psychological bill, right? Just by knowing one simple thing. You know, the absence of common sense in today's world is really, really hurting normal people, right? The absence of common sense is just destroying people because they're completely reliant on their emotions. And you cannot make money just using your emotions. You have to understand the business. And that's what we try and teach you at Trading Syndicate, okay? Let's see if we can hold that 7307, right? We might look underneath it, come back up. Right? The market doesn't care if you're antsy. The market doesn't care if you have to pay your bills. The market has no, you have to adapt to the market, right? Yeah, the look below and fail the previous day high. Valid trade if we get there and you see it, right? So what Sticky's talking about is this, right? If we come down here, look below and come back up, you'd go long 5, stop 4, and you know where's it going to be a seller? There's going to be a seller at 8, right? Really simple, right? And that's not a trade you're going to buy a private plane on, right? So manage your expectations according to reality, right? Does that make sense? Everybody wants to make 50 grand a day, right? Sometimes the business doesn't support it, right? Very simple. There's that 7 bid. Back to VWAP. That's pretty much it, my friends. Be a quick session tonight. or this morning. Does anyone have any questions? If we were to open here, we'd open on a gap, right? But we have hours and hours and hours to the open. Thank you, everyone. Next session will be at 2:15 London time, 9:15 New York time. I'm slowly starting to get my voice back. I still sound a little bit of a mix between Forrest Gump and The Godfather. Have a good night if you're there, and we will see you before the market opens. If you have any questions, reach out. I'm around. Thanks, everyone. Stay out of trouble for now. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate you. Come to the Trading Syndicate. We got a 3-day. Check it out for free for 3 days. See if you like it. And I promise we'll teach you some stuff you can use to actually make money. Worst case scenario, we'll teach you how not to lose money. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.